Case cleaning. Alright, this is the Lee Zip Trimmer. A multifaceted little tool. You can use it to clean your cases, chamfer and deburr your cases, even use it to trim your cases. I'll give you an example on how this works. This is the universal chuck. I would suggest getting one of these. If you get this, it makes things a lot easier, and you only need the one for multi-calibers. Now when you get the kit, you get this little tool right here. It's got a 1/4-inch shank. This will hook into, you can put this in a cordless drill. Now when you buy your depth gauge for your trimmer, which I'll show you momentarily, it comes along with the depth gauge per caliber. So, and screws onto just like that. Put your shell in there. Tighten down. You can chamfer your shell. You can trim your shell. You could even clean your shell off if you want. Put it into a cordless drill. You know, you wouldn't need to get one of these, but this is nice. I would much prefer this. You do have to secure it. There's 2 screws, one on each side. You got to secure it to the table because you'll be pulling on it. So, back to this little piece. Now you can use this in conjunction with the Lee Zip Trimmer. Screws on the end there, like that. Give it a little tug so it's tight, and there you go. That will hold your case. You can chamfer, trim, clean, but we're not going to use it. I'm going to use the universal chuck. Screws on like this. Once you get it to a certain point, it'll get tight, and that's how you tighten your jaws down. I'm going to bring you over here so you get a little bit better look at it. There we go. So you take your casing, screw it down a little bit. Take your casing, put it in there. Clamps in onto the ejection groove or extractor groove, whichever you prefer. There. Give it a pull once or twice, make sure you have it centered. Now we're going to come over here and I'm going to show you how to clean these by hand. Now you want to use, I use the quadruple zero steel wool, the ultra fine. So I have 3 pieces. Just dropped one. Anyway, this is how you do this using the Lee Zip Trimmer. Take clean piece, and put it on your casing, and you give her a couple pulls. And work your way out. And there you have it. But we're not finished yet. I'm going to compare this to one of the other cases. Hopefully you can get a look at this. The difference in the two. Clean case, dirty case. Okay. Put that back. But we're not quite finished with it yet. Now I usually have a second piece that I use to keep separate from the first one, and I go around the bottom of the body, take my fingernail usually, put it in the extractor groove, run it a few times, and there, it's nice and clean. Now what I mentioned in the previous segment about cleaning the primer pockets, I'm extremely picky on this, and I really don't think this is in the book, but I like my cases to be as close to factory clean as possible. So usually I take one more piece, gonna wad up the end a little bit, work it into the primer pocket, and work it around. Sometimes it takes a little finesse to get it where you get used to it, so I work it back and forth. And there you have it. I'll give you a look at the two different primer pockets. Hopefully you get a good look here. Okay. This one we just used the primer pocket tool, and this is the one you run a little steel wool down in there. A lot cleaner. Oops. So, you know, that's just an option. So, anyway, and then usually, just to top it off, I take a little compressed air, blow it out, because you'll get a little bit of this steel wool in there. That way you don't get it on your sizing die when you go to resize. So we're going to do a few here and get them cleaned up. Yeah, not overly exciting. So, and you usually have to pull this off every so often and get a new piece in there. And this is another one of those processes. You can have a batch on one side, and there we go. Alright, whip through a couple more of these. And you can do it more of an assembly line if you want type thing. And one more. Every so often you want to rotate your steel wool because you will get a certain amount of buildup on them. Alright, there we go. Cleaning our cases with the Lee zip trimmer. I'm going to finish these up and then we'll get on with the next phase.